Is this for broadcast or?
No, we're in Invest Iceland, and we're meeting here, and the question is, should we invest in Iceland?
Okay, because Iceland offers great opportunities for investors actually, being a Western European country with sort of mainly European legislation centered in between two of the world's strongest markets, North America and Europe. You get in Iceland you get office hours on both sides of the Atlantic. We actually offer companies the opportunity to operate green. The only energy you can buy off the Icelandic grid is produced either with hydro power or geothermal energy. Due to the recent financial crisis and the exchange rate is quite favorable for foreign investors coming to Iceland and operating here. You have it's not a large population, it's a very closely knit society, it's a fairly safe and crime-free society, but you get good skills here, and being an island, it's long traditions that Icelanders go abroad to seek education and work. They go to both sides of the Atlantic and they bring it back here, so we have fairly good language skills, and you have a lot of educated people. So it's for knowledge-based industries. It's actually a good choice.
It seems like you have the best of all the Scandinavian aspects in a very small country. 326,000. You're half the size of Washington D.C.
Yeah.
You have the mobile telephony and the Finland, let's say, and Nokia. You have some of the stuff from Sweden and the funds. You have some of the stuff from Denmark, all in one small little country.
Yeah, because being an independent country means you have to do basically everything that not large nations do, and there's also results in sort of a kind of a rather positive attitude to solving projects and doing things. It means that people have to be able to multitask. You can't segment very well within companies, and this is this role and that role, etc. People have to be sort of fairly flexible and ready to adapt and sort of keep on learning, doing new things. That's the way it works.
Everybody sort of remembers the 2008 crisis. What's something that's not on the radar, which I've been seeing firsthand, is we're seeing evidence of huge foreign inflows of capital into Iceland from Russia, from North Africa, is becoming an important offshore center. People are coming here to do banking rather than in other places. Maybe because you're Schengen, but you're not EU. Is that one of the reasons?
I'm not familiar with this inflow of money now. It used before pre-crisis. There was a fairly large inflow of money into Iceland. That was mainly because we were one of these high interest rate currency. So, like the so-called Kiwi bonds in New Zealand, when they had high interest rates, or into Australia, and then you had the glacial bonds in Iceland. So it was like a currency trade thing, and getting maximum yields because of the high interest rates in Iceland. That explained most of the sort of high inflow of money into Iceland in pre-crisis. And also just the Icelandic banks became international.
Yeah.
They had headquarters in Iceland based on this tiny currency actually, but had huge operations abroad.
But I was thinking more personal wealth being brought in from all these other markets, and that gives you a large amount of unutilized investment capital that could be used to invest in companies operating in Iceland.
The sort of largest possible domestic investor in Iceland actually these days are probably the Icelandic pension funds. We have a pension fund scheme that's actually it's based on funds, so people pay premium to funds all the working life, and that's kept, and then it's used later on. So it means it's not a direct flow through the tax system, etc. So these funds, they're still growing actually, and they have huge investment needs, and they are quite a large player in the economy.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah.
See,